by Bijon Mishra, consumer policy expert, and Yogendra Kapoor, economist, on this big move by the central government and this big announcement by Nirmala Sitharaman, who has announced a cut in fuel prices. I would like to go to you first, Bijoy Mishra. Now, can we expect that this move will be a big relief for the common man?
Yes, of course it would be. The common people would definitely feel a kind of a relief in terms of their daily budget, and they would feel better, comfortable, because they would start now feeling that it can go down further. So it will bring in some kind of a smile on their face, because the process would have started, and the Honorable Finance Minister has made several announcements in cutting down, customs duty on also importing materials. So there will be a kind of a chain reaction. So I think all the citizens would be very happy. And as you know, price is a very sensitive issue. Consumers always love when the prices come down. You see, whenever prices come down on any products which they purchase, they feel very happy. They feel that, I will be able to save some money for my own other personal expenses, because now the strain is there on the daily budget because of the inflation, and it is definitely affected them. So this kind of a relief would be very good, appropriate, and at the right time it has been done, because it was going up.
Mr. Bijon Mishra. Bijon Mishra, you're absolutely right. You're saying that it was done at the right time. It was done at the right time. I would like to go across to Yogendra Kapoor. Taking off what Bijon Mishra has just said, that it was done at the right time. This has come while the economy is coming back from, COVID-19 situation. Also, as the Russia-Ukraine war rages, we have seen that fuel prices have been going up. And in fact, how do you read this coming in? Because we can clearly see that even with all these issues, global issues that we are facing, the government has taken a stand right now to protect the citizens of India. Yogendra Kapoor.
Right. Sure. First of all, I would say that this is a step in the right direction. We have all seen that the country, especially the middle class and the lower class, which is the poor class, has severely suffered in terms of their income levels, whether it was through COVID and currently through the inflationary aspects. Government as well as RBI are also online when they say that the food prices, they don't see them reducing any further. If we look at a 1 year's time frame from now. So my understanding is that this is a step which is required by the central government. We have definitely moved forward, but I would still say that it's literally a halfway walk, because now it has to be also followed up by the states by reduction of the VAT duties. You see, ultimately,
Absolutely.
it will end up in...
Now that you have mentioned that, okay, we're joined by a caller as well. Harish is joining us from Pune. Please stay on, both our guests. Harish, what is your message right now to the country? Harish, go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
By the government.
I'm
All right, we have just lost Harish. Harish is a caller who was calling from Pune. And we'll be, of course, getting back with other callers. We have opened our phone lines. You can call us and tell us about what you feel about this big relief for the common man. Now, I just want to go across to both our guests. Now, we have just got a tweet right now from Randeep Surjewala. The Congress is reacting now. It's saying, nation doesn't need jugglery of figures to dupe the people. Nation doesn't need jumlas. Stop deceiving. Show the courage to give relief. Now, I want to ask both our guests. I come to Bijon Mishra. Do you really think that Congress has a standing here to say this? Because clearly that the fuel prices were rising all across India, and this is a major cut which has been made by the finance minister herself.
It is very unfortunate that when the opposition doesn't encourage such kind of moves, you see, they just want to show that, whatever has been done in the interest of the citizens, the consumers, they are not party to it. They don't acknowledge it. They don't want to acknowledge that is the right step in the right direction at the right time. This is the most unfortunate thing in our country. The opposition must know that as they are providing a leadership to the opposition, they also need to acknowledge, the good gestures done, because it is now high time, like Congress shows it in states like Rajasthan. They should immediately spring in and reduce in Rajasthan. They should bring down the taxes in Rajasthan and sort of rally in terms of getting the citizens on their side. So what my contention is, instead of trying to show negative, they should try to encourage and also join in exchanging the same kind of a gesture in the interest of the consumers at this point of time when inflation is definitely pinching the pockets of the consumers.
Right, Mr. Bajoy, just hold on with, and I'll also ask you about Congress's expected attack, Yogendra Kapoor, because right now we are joined by a caller. Raghunath, can you hear me, Raghunath? Raghunath is joining me from Cochin, joining Republic TV. Can you hear me, Raghunath?
I'm a regular viewer of Republic TV.
Right.
So that's why I called you. And it's a fantastic move from Prime Minister that it's 10 rupees less than the 7 rupees less. But I only wonder one thing, that whether this the state government also will act accordingly, because if they also reduce it, then only this will be useful for the public. Is there any way Prime Minister has at least he has got some way to tell the people, this Chief Minister to reduce it? That's my question.
Right, Raghunath. Actually, the Prime Minister has asked the opposition states to cut VAT on fuel. I would like to take that question now back to Yogendra Kapoor. Now, even after so many demands, we just heard the reaction coming in from Randeep Surjewala, where he's calling nation doesn't need jumlas.
Well, I think the need of the hour is that all political parties, and especially the opposition, they need to be sensitive at this moment. We all have seen that how the income levels have fallen for the middle class as well as the lower middle class. And it is time that whether it is the opposition ruled states or otherwise, they need to be sensitive in reduction of rates, because ultimately we need to understand that any reduction going forward is only going to help the state government as well as the central government, as it will result in the increased consumption on account of higher disposable income in the hands of the people.
Yes, Mr. Kapoor. Okay, I'm also joined by Sharat Kohli, an economist who's joining us as well on Republic TV right now. Now, like Mr. Kapoor said, that money should come to the hand of the common people. And we were also seeing that retail inflation was at an 8-year high. So clearly, this move by the government is keeping the Aam Aadmi in mind. How do you read this in the economic sense?
A very welcome move, I would say, because, we should not forget that just a few days ago, an interesting piece of statistics had come, which said that the under-recovery for oil marketing companies on diesel was about 25 to 30 rupees, whereas on petrol was about 10 rupees. So therefore, government without price at which the oil marketing companies were supplying, it took a hit of 1 lakh crore on itself. I think this was a suggestion being given from my end over several platforms. And this was suggested because, the GST collections are back to normal. Your direct tax collections are back to normal. In fact, they are doing better in many regards. So I think this was the need of the hour. The Aam Aadmi's budget had been upset by about 25 to 45%, depending upon which category of society you belong to. Especially the poor, they were taking a hit more particularly. So I think a very welcome move. And I think the states now, the ball is in state government's court, and they have to come back. They have to go back to the people and answer that if the center can do, the states can do, especially the states like Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, where the VAT on petrol and diesel is very, very high. I mean, you have some of the highest prices in the country are from Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. I think they need to take a call now. And I think if this also comes, this will phenomenally reduce. But having said that, we should not forget that people should not go tomorrow morning at the grocery shops and say, hang on, man, I need my bread cheaper. Hang on, I need my milk cheaper. It's got a cascading effect. You're going to see the effect of this over the next 2 to 3 weeks. You're not immediately going to see, there's no magic wand. If today at midnight the prices go down, you're not going to witness tomorrow morning a reduction in your grocery prices and so and so. However, you will see some kind of impact over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I think people will heave a sigh of relief. I think it's a very, very bold move, because if you see the international economy at this time, there's a lot of pressure. Inflation is across the board from north to south. Go from Australia to South America. You go from England to Africa. Inflation is hitting the entire globe. I think in this situation for Government of India to have taken this bold decision is a very, very appreciable move. Let's hope, wish and pray that crude oil from here does not jump any further, because if it jumps, I think it will put further pressure on the government. The rupee versus dollar is already struggling. Rupee is over 77 rupees. So I think the pressure would be there. But one more thing before I wrap up, one more thing that, people should understand that when you reduce excise duty, you take a hit on your fiscal deficit. So you're holding your ear from here, you're holding it from the other side. So the ultimate impact of fiscal deficit is going to come back to people as a local territory. And I think people should understand economic, and that it is either way it is going to impact if we have international pressure.
Right, Sharad Kohli. All lines are open right now, viewers. If you're watching Republic TV right now, do call us in and tell us what you think about this big move by the government. The tax on fuel has been reduced significantly, viewers. Please call in and tell us your opinion on it. We're taking a short break. Let's have a look at what the people of India have to say before that.
महंगी होगी, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन सस्ता हो जाएगा, सब कुछ सस्ता हो जाएगा धीरे धीरे. सब्जी अब्जी सस्ती होगी, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन सस्ता होगा, डीजल सस्ता होने से, पेट्रोल सस्ता होने से हमारी गाड़ियों में फ़र्क पड़ेगा हम लोगों को.
नहीं, राहत की खबर है, ये बहुत अच्छी खबर है और मैं समझता हूँ कि काफ़ी लोगों को इससे राहत मिलेगी. बट अभी पेट्रोल और डीजल के दाम और कम होने चाहिए.
आज के रेट के हिसाब से अगर हम
और वो 50 पैसे की राहत दे दी. सत्य तो ये है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने पिछले 8 महीने में 531% पेट्रोल पे एक्साइज ड्यूटी बढ़ाई है, 206% डीजल पे बढ़ाई है, 26 लाख करोड़ रुपया जनता की जेब से हाथ डाल के लूटा गया है. और आज राहत 9.5 रुपए और 7 रुपए. भारतीय जनता पार्टी का सीधा सीधा फॉर्मूला है, मुनाफा हमारा, नुकसान आपका. भाजपा को अगर अपनी साबित करना है कि वो जानलेवा नहीं जनसेवा वाली सरकार है, तो पेट्रोल और डीजल के दामों को सन 2014 में लेके आए.
बट सर, जो सिलेंडर है उस पर भी 200 रुपये.
पेट्रोल के दाम तो बहुत बढ़ गए थे, उससे तो महंगाई बहुत बढ़ रही थी. अब काफ़ी राहत मिलनी चाहिए मेरे ख्याल से मैम, उस पर महंगाई पे भी.
the center has eased fuel prices. Viewers, that's a big story we are tracking today. This is the biggest news break of the day, the center's big announcement. Also, we're getting some more reactions coming in. Yogi Adityanath has tweeted, he said that under the leadership of the respected Prime Minister, the central government has reduced the excise duty on petrol 8 rupees per litre and on diesel 6 rupees per litre today in public interest. Decision dedicated to public welfare will benefit every section of the society equally. All right. I would like to go back to our guests, policy expert Bijon Mishra and also Sharat Kohli, economist, is joining us live. Now, I would like to take this question to you, Bijon Mishra. Why do you think that this is clearly a move which has been made for the common man, but we're getting reactions from Congress time and again saying that this is not a welcome move. Even if it's a welcome move, it's too little, too late. What exactly is there? What exactly are they trying to say? Because if we look at it in the bigger perspective, like we were discussing earlier, the economy right now is coming back from the COVID-19 situation, and many countries around the world, the prices have risen drastically because of the Russia-Ukraine war. So what exactly is their logic according to you? I'll ask this question to Mr. Sharat Kohli too. I want to start with you, Bijon Mishra.
Thank you. Firstly, let me tell you, I couldn't hear my friend Sharat at all. I didn't know what he spoke, so I'll not be able to respond to what he said. What I want to tell you is, very short, that for the sake of being an opposition, you should not oppose everything which happens. You also have to confess at times that certain moves are good, it's in the interest of the consumers, and it's been taken at the right time. So, you see, petroleum products are linked to many activities. In fact, every developmental activity is linked with petroleum product pricing. So if the gesture has started from the center by cutting the excise duty, it absolutely is important for the opposition first to recognize that and be able to tell the citizens that they are also contemplating, at least in their states where they are taking the leadership, they should also agree to bring down the prices appropriately, because that would show that every political party cutting across the party lines, they are agreeing to do activities which are in the interest of the common citizens. So if they just oppose for the sake of misleading the consumers, misleading the citizens, it is not taken in a right spirit. And in my view, the opposition should at times now in our country now needs to understand that they also need to reciprocate in terms of the gesture which the policymakers today in the country, which the BJP is taking at this time of crisis, where the inflationary trend is high, productivity needs to be increased. We need to bring employment within the country. So at this time, when the government is taking this kind of a call, we all must understand that we have to recognize it, appreciate it, and also show gestures equally wherever you can as an opposition parties, and cutting across party lines.
Absolutely, Mr. Mishra. Mr. Shar, right. I would like to put that same question across to Mr. Sharat Kohli as well. Now, clearly, the same question I asked Mr. Bijon Mishra, what is the logic of the Congress? Because also, when the gas cylinder prices were hitting the roof, we have seen that apart from the easing of fuel prices, the other big announcement which came today, a subsidy of rupees 200 per gas cylinder to over 9 crore beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana have also been announced, Mr. Sharat.
You see, as far as the opposition is concerned, whenever there is a price rise of anything, all you need to say is that the government should reduce. This is not correct. That's such an easy statement. It's a very easy way out for somebody to say that, look, the price of we are speaking for people. But I think what the government of India should do, this is my suggestion through Republic TV today. I think the government at the grassroots level should try and educate the common citizens about the economics, because the way people look at it is only that there is a price rise, we are paying more. But what goes behind the scenes, what led to this price rise, how is this amount being used for people, what development activities are being done, what welfare schemes are being done. I think people need to be educated. So I feel that there is a communication gap between the world of economics and the people at the ground. If this gap is killed, I think people will be better educated to know that why they have to pay more, and in return, what are they getting? So I think that is where the ruling government should come forward and educate, because otherwise the opposition can easily take advantage of that. Whenever there is a price rise, all they need to do is to step out on the road with a cylinder in the neck or probably an empty can of petrol, and it's so easy to invoke people. So I think what the government needs to do is to educate people, because as I said earlier, I would like to reiterate here that if this excise duty has been cut today, the fiscal deficit load will come. And people who understand economics, they should know that if fiscal deficit goes up, inflation is again going to be affected. So you're holding your ear not from here, from the other side. This is where people need to be educated, and you need to appreciate the global crisis that the whole world is going through right now. I think government should come and give examples of other countries. Don't compare apples with oranges, but at least you can compare countries which have a similar kind of economic parameters, also one more very important thing, that the situation is very dynamic. What has happened today by way of cut, you never know. Tomorrow crude may shoot up to $130, $140 when government will again be compelled to rise. So I think we should not rest on these laurels. We should consider the situation as very dynamic. This is not the end of the world. This can come down further. This may also go up from here. So it can happen either way. We should be prepared as a citizen of this country.
Absolutely, Mr. Sharad Kohli. We should be prepared. Like you said, thank you, Mr. Sharad Kohli. Thank you, Mr. Mishra, for joining us here on Republic TV. Now, the big move by the government. The people of India are very happy, and we are just going to slip into a short break. But let's see what the entire India has to say about this huge, huge move by the Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman.